The Ottoman Empire had tried many times to capture Constantinople and end the Byzantine Empire, but these efforts were often delayed by outside wars, internal conflicts, and even an invasion by Timur. By the mid-1400s, however, the Ottomans had brought most of their territory under control. With peace at home, they were ready to try again. Capturing Constantinople was now only a matter of time. In 1444, Sultan Mehmed II defeated the Crusaders at the Battle of Varna. This was a major win for the Ottomans, especially since the King of Poland and Hungary, Vladislav, was killed in the battle. His death left a power vacuum in Central Europe and made it harder for anyone to organize resistance against the Ottomans. Even so, some resistance continued, especially from Skanderbeg, an Albanian leader, and John Hunyadi of Transylvania. Hunyadi kept asking European rulers and the Pope for help, but most ignored him. As a result, his campaigns were limited to small attacks on Ottoman lands. Skanderbeg, who had once served the Ottomans, rebelled against them. Murad launched 3 campaigns to defeat him, but all failed. The Albanians used guerrilla tactics to fight back and managed to win, despite being outnumbered. Around the same time, Murad was also dealing with internal revolts and a campaign against the Despotate of Morea in 1446. This forced Constantine XI, who would later become Byzantine Emperor, to become an Ottoman vassal and pay tribute. In 1448, Murad gained a small victory over Skanderbeg at the Battle of Svetingrad, but the Albanians continued their resistance. Murad set up a few forts along the border and returned to his capital, Edirne. Meanwhile, John Hunyadi gathered an army of 30,000 men to launch a new crusade. He had hoped to get help from Durad Brankovic, the Serbian ruler, but Brankovic, being an Ottoman ally, refused. This forced Hunyadi to march through Serbian territory, which caused tension and conflict. Murad learned of Hunyadi's plans and moved to stop him from joining forces with Skanderbeg. In October 1448, Hunyadi's army reached Kosovo and waited for Skanderbeg, who never arrived. Reports say Brankovic or Ottoman troops may have blocked him. On October 17th, Murad arrived with 50,000 troops. This was the same battlefield where the Ottomans had fought a major battle decades earlier. The Crusaders attacked first, but after some success, they were pushed back. That night, Hunyadi launched a surprise cavalry attack, but the Ottomans saw it coming and defeated it. The next day, Murad used a trick. He had his soldiers pretend to retreat. Hunyadi fell for it and sent his men after them. The Ottoman center held firm, and their side troops came back to trap Hunyadi's army. The result was a disaster. Over half of Hunyadi's forces were killed, while the Ottomans lost about 5,000 men. This battle sealed the fate of the Balkans, which would now remain under Ottoman control for centuries. Even after this, Skanderbeg continued to resist, but without much success. The Ottomans now turned their full attention to Constantinople. In 1451, Murad died and his son Mehmed II became Sultan. Mehmed made it his main goal to capture Constantinople. At this time, the city was weak and nearly empty, with a population of only 50,000 to 100,000. Large parts of the city were abandoned or used for farming. Emperor Constantine XI ruled only a small area and still paid tribute to the Ottomans. To avoid outside interference, Mehmed signed peace treaties with Venice, Genoa, and Hungary. When the Karamanids rebelled, he used the opportunity to strengthen his power in Anatolia. Meanwhile, Constantine XI stopped paying tribute and threatened to support Orhan, Mehmed's cousin and a rival for the throne. This gave Mehmed an excuse to break the treaty and prepare for war. In April 1452, Mehmed ordered the construction of a new fortress, Rumeli Hisari, on the Bosphorus. Its purpose was to stop help from coming to Constantinople by sea. By August, the fortress was finished. In response, Constantine XI began gathering supplies and calling for help from Europe. Only a few answered. Venice sent some ships, and about 1,000 soldiers led by Giovanni Giustiniani came to help. By April 1453, Mehmed had over 100,000 troops, 126 ships, and 69 cannons, including massive ones built for breaking walls. The Byzantines had only 7,000 soldiers, about 30,000 civilians willing to help defend, 26 ships, and a few old cannons. Despite being outnumbered, they had strong city walls and better ships. The siege began on April 6. Mehmed's large cannons bombarded the city, but they took a long time to reload, giving the defenders time to repair the walls. On April 7th, an Ottoman attack was pushed back. Several other attacks failed over the next few weeks. To break the naval blockade, Mehmed came up with a clever plan. He had his ships carried over land on wooden rollers to bypass the heavy chain blocking the Golden Horn. This surprise move placed Ottoman ships behind the chain, threatening the city from another direction. Constantine tried to stop them with fire ships, but the plan failed. Throughout May, the Ottomans increased their attacks. Finally, on May 29th, Mehmed launched a full assault. At first, the defenders held strong, but the Janissaries eventually broke through at the gates of St. Romanus. Justiniani was badly wounded, which lowered morale. As Ottoman troops poured into the city, Constantine XI made a final stand and was killed. The fall of Constantinople marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and the Middle Ages. It opened the door to the Renaissance, the age of exploration, and a long era of conflict between Europe and the Ottoman Empire. This event changed the course of history, and its impact is still felt today.